Hello everyone and welcome to yet another stream. I hope you're doing well. If you missed the discussion with Peter, Hannah, conspiracy theorist yesterday, we're going to be going over it, critiquing and sort of pointing out things that I thought I did well, things that I didn't think I did well on, sort of like in sports when they watch the tapes of the last game to see what they did wrong, did right, what they can work on. We're going to be doing that. Not necessarily the whole thing. We're probably going to skip around. And then after that, we're just going to do whatever. I wanted kind of a chill stream today just because I'm still a little tired from dealing with Peter yesterday. I've been emailing with Peter still, so that's fun. But either way, how are you all doing today? I hope some of you got a chance to check out the discussion with Peter. If not, I guess you'll see parts of it today. Let me go up to the top and see what I missed. The Shadow Witch, thanks for subscribing for 7 months, says I would love to see you do more debates discussions on here. Dude was nuts, but good quality entertainment. Maybe. I don't know who else I would be able to get, or who people would want me to get. Mike Max says, best game ever, turn off the volume. Okay. What is this? Fight of Animals Arena. Why is it so? Oh, does that have music in it? I assume, is the volume off part. You just fight animals. It's like a brawl type game or like a Smash Brothers type game. Oh my god. It's like a furry fighting game. Oh no, Crowrilla. God. Run a hype train, 70% of level 1. I mean, it's cute. But honestly, if I want to play a Smash Brothers type game, I'll play Smash Brothers Ultimate. It's basically the best version of a brawl game. But if you're a furry, I guess, and you want a furry-based one, there you go. Andrew Batella says, my latest theory, Q is a time-traveling alien who made a conspiracy theory about Trump to cover up their abduction of children to extract their adrenochrome. It all fits together. You know, that's more likely than most of the stuff that Peter brought up, so. Mike Max says, also, I live with my stab. I was lied by the conservative right with their anti-vaxxers, QAnon conspiracy theories, and fear-mongering. Who would have guessed? What else? Xenon Exemer, thank you for 7 months. Everything is taken, yo. Thanks for subscribing for 11 months. Logarth with 100 bits says, Hannah, I was just watching it, and I would never have been able to keep my composure like that. Thanks for being one of those calm, rational voices out there. I don't know if I'd call myself that, but thank you. Tuba Steve 42, thanks for subscribing for 4 months. Cherry Tree Boy with 20 bits says, it's been a while since I watched you live. Hannah, how are you tonight? I'm good. I hope you're doing well, too. Cast Iron Pan, I'm pretty happy about how yesterday went, so I'm in a good mood. Cast Iron Pan, thanks for subscribing for 7 months. Keirthin with 100 says, can I just say you chewed up Peter and spit him out? And he should be grateful for your presence. Alright, that last sentence got a little extreme, but yeah, even Peter admitted I won, so that's nice. Ugh, I just put some like, stuff in my hair, to moisturize it, and now it's getting all over my mouse. That's gross. RTK142 says he did a pretty, already read that one. Oh god, I'm so from Michigan. History Chick 96, thanks for subscribing for 3 months, says 1 trimester down. Sushi Bomb says, she thought it went pretty well. That's good, thank you. Slow Dog 52, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. I appreciate that. And also says, caught the replay and just, wow. Yeah, it's bad. Excessive Observer with 11 months, thank you. 0M80 with 45 bits says, the true conspiracy no one is talking about. And there's a link. We're at 23% to level 4.
Hear me out. DMX and Prince Philip both died on the same day. Have we ever seen them in a room together? Just saying.
True. That's a
Hear me out.
conspiracy I can get behind. Bitter Grin, thanks for the 30 bits. Alright, let's get into, while we finish up this hype train, we have 4 minutes left on level 4 and we're at 23%. Let's get into the video. And talk about how it went. And some of the strength of my strategy, the weaknesses, and the same for Peter. Excuse me. Got some pretzel stuck in my throat. R. Wester V, thanks for subscribing with 8 months, says, learning so much and happy to subscribe. Oh, I gotta deal with this. It's like a chunk of salt or something. Ah. Oh. Yeah, I'm not gross. Don't worry about it. Dr. Goth THC, thanks for 100 bits. And who said that?
People who are experts at planes that they have a whole YouTube channel about.
Hold on. Well, first of all, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. I'm sure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you have. Did I see experts commenting on Peter's abductions? Okay. Of kids and stuff, so I'm sure you're busy. I know this is probably a pain, but I appreciate it.
Oh, I think this is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never met someone like you, never talked to someone like you. Why not? Let's do it. Though I
don't know if he meant trans by that, or if he meant leftist, or if he meant I don't know what he meant by that, to be entirely honest.
Skipping church to be here and talk to you, so I'm sinning a little bit, but it's okay.
Oh boy, I would imagine your pastor's not thrilled about that, but
it's okay. He hated my YouTube channel anyway, because I was preaching the opposite of what he was preaching.
I find it very interesting that Peter, this is almost like a commentary track on my own discussion. That's interesting. I find it interesting that Peter's own church is against his YouTube channel and that his pastor doesn't like it. Because remember, his pastor's this guy. Hold on. This is his dad's. Hold on. Sanctuary Church Leader. This is the head of his church that he's talking about. He wears a bullet crown. And the congregation wears a lot of crowns too and brings their guns to church services. I find it interesting that people in Peter's church, including the leader of it, don't like QAnon, considering how bonkers their beliefs already are. But I would imagine that might be a case of, in my opinion, someone who's a bit of a cult leader, not wanting the people in his cult to get sucked into a secondary cult that would take some of their loyalty and time. Yes, $300 bullet crown. The VOD is loud compared to me. Okay, I'll turn it down.
He's like, the world is doomed. Socialism's destroy everything. I'm like, Trump's coming back. It'll be fine. He's like, what's you're saying on that YouTube channel? This is crazy.
So he doesn't like that you're take a more optimistic outlook.
No, he did not like that at all. He was kind of putting pressure on my dad. He was like, hey, is Peter a Q believer? And my dad's like, yeah. He's like,
When even the cult leader wearing the bullet crown looks at your Q conspiracy and goes, oh, 20 seconds left on the level 4 hype train with 54%. And that's, to my knowledge, the Reverend Moon, correct?
This is Reverend Moon's son. Reverend Moon died a while ago.
Yes, okay. I have a question.
Son. For sure, go for it.
Do you have one of those sweet crowns? Do you have a cool bullet crown? Cast iron pan with 100 bits? Thank you.
You know what? I've been wanting to buy one, but it's just not in the budget right now.
How much are they? I'm just curious, because I watched a thing on them the other day when I was researching for you, and I figured out that you were part of that church because you wear their medallion and you wear their special camo jacket.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to be doing that anymore, but
why? Are you embarrassed to be a member of the church?
Well, I think it's easily, it put me up as a target. I'll get into that later, but it's easy to label someone as like a violent person when they're like in a gun cult or whatever.
Like, he has the self-awareness to know that, but not the self-awareness to understand that then maybe he shouldn't be a part of the gun cult.
So
Yeah, it's a little
I'm
strange.
like, you know what? I'm gonna tone down the whole I'm in the sanctuary church thing. But
Also, everyone thank Baha for making my hair and face look nice yesterday.
the crowns, the ones they sell at the church store, are about $300.
$300 for a bullet crown. I want one. Peter, if I give you $300, will you promise to send me a bullet crown? Jesus
I think
Christ.
they're just gold plated. They're not real gold.
That seems...
Some people just make their own with like string or copper. Honestly, it's kind of silly and kind of fun. But the church believes that we're like, once you get married, you become like a king and a queen or whatever. And so
Yeah,
it's
saw...
interesting.
I don't. Did you meet your
Go ahead.
wife through the church? Because and we'll get to the QAnon stuff. Obviously, I just wanted to
For
talk.
sure.
I wanted to touch base
For
with
sure.
this. Like,
Uh-huh.
as far as I understand, the church does arranged marriages. Is that how you and your wife met?
Well, my parents were married through an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
I was against arranged marriage because, like, what happens if I'm arranged with someone I really don't like? So
I find this interesting because what's about to come up, he describes not as an arranged marriage, but it's still not a typical modern marriage. I thought about digging deeper into it, but that wasn't really the topic of what I wanted to discuss, but maybe we'll go into it another time.
I'm like, nah, I'll skip that. So the second option is then to find someone. So I went on a church website and I found someone, and her father contacted me. Is like, hey, my daughter doesn't even know you exist, but I think you're cool. You want to meet my daughter? And I was like, all right.
Like, that's still kind of that's kind of an arranged marriage with extra steps. You talked to the father first, and the father was like, come and be with my I know there's a chud in chat. Hold on, I'll ban him. One sec. There we go. Anyway, oh god, I lost my train of thought. Oh, he says that's not an arranged marriage, but it's certainly not a normal marriage. Let's put it that way.
Sure. And then we just somehow hit it off because, I mean, we had the church in common and everything worked out.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy that you don't have a fully arranged marriage. I still find that a little weird, what you just described, but I'm glad for you that you found someone that you are...
Yes, I fell in love before I got married. The traditional Western style, no...
Slowdog52 with 100 bits says, prompt surface, daughter is advertised, would marry seller's offspring again, A++.
Arranged marriage. Arranged marriages are very, very difficult.
I would imagine.
Actually, now that we're on topic of religion, are you a Satanist, or you just like to mess with Christians?
I am not a Satanist. I am an atheist.
Oh, okay. I was there at one point, for sure.
That's funny, because I used to be a Christian, so...
Oh, gosh. So I'm guessing your parents are still Christians?
To my knowledge, yes.
Oh, boy. What did they think of you being an atheist? Are you the black sheep of the family?
Not really. They don't really... I mean, I don't think they're thrilled about it, but... It doesn't really matter. I don't know. My family isn't, like, that fervent that it's, like, an issue. We've certainly talked about it before, but... My job, more so my job being, I started on YouTube about a decade ago.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
Yeah, I started on YouTube about a decade ago. It's been my job, and I started with doing an atheist Bible study. So they weren't thrilled about that. I read the Bible regularly and talk about it from an atheist perspective. So I actually know the Bible relatively well.
Wow.
That's actually...
feeling...
That's one of the reasons... Sorry, I'll let you talk in a second. I'm very... blah 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 blah, so I'll try and tone it down. That's actually one of the reasons I became an atheist, is because I was questioning my religion, and then they're like, well, read the Bible every day for a month, and I did, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely an atheist. So
That's a horrible argument. Reading the Bible, like I read the first page of the Bible, and that's how far I got.
That's such a weird admission, isn't it? To be that highly religious and then to admit you got like one page into the book that you're claiming is like the holy book for your religion. It's so weird. Interesting. So have you not actually read the Bible yourself?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a very religious person. I would say that now I believe in God. Actually, like the whole Q movement really pushed me into being like I had doubts every once in a while, but the Q movement is actually quite a religious movement. They post about religious quotes and God wins and all that stuff. So like once I saw all that stuff was going on, it actually strengthened and cemented my belief in God.
Interesting.
Oddly enough, yeah.
Okay.
But so is your real name the name? I'm gonna
skip past all the lawsuit threat shit.
Then I saw this and I was like, no proof of me saying I want any lives.
Do you think that splash damage and civilian casualties are not a military coup? Curing cancer with it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you want me to show you those emails of these people thanking me?
Oh yeah,
Democrats,
he claimed he cured people's cancer with weed.
Get sidetracked. Believing that I
Overthought says it's like Doyle saying he only got to page 2 of the Fountainhead.
Want Trump to get president is very different than saying I want you and all your followers and all Democrats to be killed. Is that correct? Or do you think those are the two same things?
So just to be clear, how do you expect the military to take over the country exactly? Do you want them to knock on the door and be like, hi guys, today we're going to take over the country?
Hold on, Hannah. We'll get into all that in a second, but I just want to clear it because you're...
What are we doing today, torturing us again? I wanted to go over some of the stuff in the debate and sort of grade it and decide what could be done better or worse, some of the issues Peter had, and then we're going to watch whatever.
Followers are giving me death threats because they think I want to kill them.
We do not approve of death threats of any kind here on this channel.
Okay.
You get trolls other than from people like me. People follow your channel because you're funny. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. The death threats is the thing, and you would show them the evidence, right? Great.
So when Obama tries to bomb ISIS, he's killing civilians exclusively, but when Trump does the same thing, there are no civilian casualties, even though the same military apparatus is carrying out both.
When I was in college, I had a friend who was an Afghani who was my roommate.
Okay.
He showed me news from Afghanistan that I translate, Google Translate. Obama was dropping, one of the drone bombs he dropped was on.
This is a mistake he made multiple times too, when he'd be like, well, Obama did this. Yeah, he did, and I also disapprove of that. But what is your evidence that the same did not happen under Trump? Because I have evidence that actually shows that the bombings increased under Trump, and civilian casualties increased in lockstep with that. And then I provided evidence of that from, I think it was like Brown University or something. I don't remember the exact source. I say it in the thing, though. And he just decides that it's not true because it doesn't fit what he already believes. It's so frustrating.
On a wedding of 300 people.
Yeah, that's fucked up. The U.S. military is disgusting.
No, this was a evil military being controlled by Obama. They killed these people. There was no threat at all. This is the difference between mass murder and killing terrorists. Obama got caught.
Andrew Patella says, military troops walk to the White House. Do you mind leaving so we can take over?
Killing people for fun. Trump, as you just pointed out, was only killing terrorists.
Here's another article. He completely misheard me, too. Or misunderstood what I was saying. I was saying that sarcastically. Trump is not only killing terrorists. Anytime you take any operation like that where you're going to bomb areas, bombs are relatively indiscriminate. If you do it in an area where there are civilians are going to get killed. Can I read this article?
Please, go ahead.
Trump's airstrikes in Afghanistan dramatically increased civilian deaths. The U.S.'s easing of restrictions on aerial strikes has led to an increase of attacks across the Middle East, Afghanistan, and neighboring countries. In 2019, airstrikes from the U.S. and its allies in Afghanistan killed 700 civilians, more than in any other year since the beginning of the war in 2001 and 2002, according to research from Brown University's Cost of War Project.
What's the source? Which the website is that's saying this?
This is from MiddleEastEye.net, and the source for the research is from Brown University's Cost of War project.
I see. So the people that are attacking Trump and who've been lying about him for years, they're your source. Is that correct?
You think?
I just want to
you
be
think
clear.
Brown University, who's been tracking war since 2001, is specifically targeting Donald
Universities are
Trump?
all against Trump because he's removing the corruption.
So, just again, anytime I bring up something with any source that says something bad about Trump, it's automatically fake news. It's automatically, he just disregards it and just decides it isn't true. To be clear, anytime I provide you sources and evidence that Donald Trump has done something wrong, you're going to claim fake news.
If it's fake news, I have to call it out.
How do you define fake news? Define fake news.
Whether they tell the truth or they're fake.
That's a good line. How are you determining what is true and what is fake? What is your criteria?
Well, I follow politics very closely, and I can tell, for example...
By that he means he reads QAnon posts.
Russia. Whatever happened to the Mueller report? You know, the fake news, all these hundreds...
Shit.
It was a big nothing.
It's been a
So
while.
this is what you... Oh, really? Could you pull up the live stream and show me the snipers right now?
Is there a live stream of the White House at all
Oh,
times?
for sure there is. Pull up. Show me these.
Sure.
Show me these snipers that they're legally required to be there. If Biden was in the White House, they would be.
I don't even know if it is legally required for them to have snipers on the roof at all times. I need to look into that. Do there need to be snipers on the White House at all times? I know they are sometimes, but I don't know if it's all times. 24/7. Okay, so yeah, there are. Good to know. Oh, I see them. They're up there right now. You idiot.
Pull it up?
I shouldn't have said that. That's the only time I think in the stream I actually called him an idiot. Let me do the screen share. Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. I gotta switch the window capture. You're gonna have to look at this on the stream, probably, just for the record.
I'm watching the stream. Don't worry.
Okay. Window capture. Why can't I? They're up on the roof.
All right, show me two snipers. Zoom in.
I can't zoom in on a video. It's full screen. They're right.
Oh.
I also want to know how he thinks videos typically work, where he thinks I can, like, CSI enhance. Like, how does he think that's supposed to work? You can see, especially during the original stream where it was bigger, you can see the snipers on the roof. They're up here at the top. There's a guy on the roof. There. They're under the American flag and over there.
All right. Well, it looks like there's some type of event going on. That's why they're there. I checked the other day, the day before. They weren't snipers. Check again tomorrow. There's a lot of people there. I'm telling you, check tomorrow.
Show me the snipers! Oh, they're right there. Oh, well,
Okay. Well, it just so happens that there's some event going on, so now they're snipers. But check another day. Their snipers aren't there. Unless there's an event, there's no snipers there.
I love you, Peter. I love you so much.
I know. I can tell. I can feel your love from here.
Check today. I actually did look later. The camera angles are further away, so it's harder to tell. White House live stream. It's gonna play an ad, I think, first. At least it did when I saw it previously. Wow, there's like a 7-Eleven a block away from the White House. 2 blocks. That's good. Ooh, and a McDonald's. I bet this is the McDonald's Donald Trump ordered his food from. Come on, load. Goddamn. Let me try and refresh. Maybe the live stream is down right now for some reason. But this live stream was on yesterday. It's on most of the time. Yeah, the stream I think is down. We can try and check it out later though, or see if there's another source. Oh, that's just the White House's actual live stream thing.
The American Rescue Plan is...
That's the White House YouTube channel. Is this one live, or is this one... This appears to be live. It's not this dark in DC already, though, is it? Says it's live. But it's only 5 p.m. Maybe they're replaying an old one. I don't know. That wasn't the live stream I was using yesterday, though. It was, I think, this one. And it's not working currently. So we'll have to check either later in the stream or keep checking it out because it's funny. Excuse me. It's the Snyder Cut. It is. You should.
So do you have any other questions, or?
I do. I have many questions. I like that we're only 30 minutes in and he's already like, do you have any more questions? Peter, I have questions we didn't get to in 3 hours. I have so many questions for you, actually.
All right,
okay.
Sure.
How did you get into the whole QAnon thing? I asked you this on email, but we have a better opportunity to...
Well, it popped up in a YouTube stream and then a YouTube video. I looked it up. I thought it was interesting because I'm into conspiracy theories. And
I meant to ask him about what other conspiracy theories he's into. I'll have to do that next time we talk.
I just started reading it from the first post, which was recommended. And at first I was just entertained and interested. But then I started seeing these Q proofs, which you were laughing about, Trump saying 17 so many times. Statistically, that's impossible.
No, it's not.
You're like,
the president says things.
you can find him saying 346 100 times. He's
like, you can find soundboards and stuff of any famous person, but especially presidents. Because presidents say tons of stuff all the time, and this is something I think I tried to get into on the stream, but I don't know if he completely understood what I was saying. Like, presidents do public speaking more than just about anyone else. So, if you're looking for specific words, you're gonna find them. Same for Obama, same for George Bush. Like, these things are... pretty ubiquitous because presidents say a lot of words. It's why you have those things on the internet where they'll, like, cut up speeches of Obama or Trump in order to say different words and sing different songs and stuff.
Manhattan.
No. The answer would be no. The answer would be no.
No. No matter how hard. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. I'm Barack Obama. Senator Barack Obama. Barack's my given name. My father's
Hey, everybody.
He was
This
Kenyan.
is Barack
It
Obama,
means blessed in Arabic.
And I just want to say thank you for helping to pull this together. For all of you to come together and help
1992.
and encourage people to come out and vote is extraordinary. And so I want to...
This sucks.
Yeah, I hear you had a question for me. We wanted to call up and answer it personally.
Look, when I was a kid, I inhaled frequently.
He says all the numbers every single time, all the time.
I think he
Really?
probably says a
Well,
lot of
this is
numbers
right.
as the president, and over 5
Over the
years from
course-
the campaign to now, he's gonna say a lot of numbers.
Okay, well,
Have you seen
so
those
he
videos,
does-
for instance, of like Obama or something, and they take words? They do this for Trump too. Individual
I
words,
see.
and they turn them into songs. It's
Yes,
because
I've seen that, but-
the president says things all the time, so that you can have tons of words and use them.
Okay, but the number 17 is a very specific number. It's not number 1. It's not number 2, which would be said very often. Number 17 is a number that's rarely said, and he just happened to say it
What's your
many times.
evidence that the number 17 is rarely said?
Well, try to find a single video of Obama or Biden saying 17. Go ahead.
I mean, that's going to be hard to search.
It's rare.
Probably. You can't search the speech of individual presidents. The people who come up with the Q stuff listen to every one of Trump's speeches, so they specifically sit there and they pick out when he says 17. I'd have to do the same thing for a Barack Obama, and I'm not going to do that.
The point is, it's rare. It's very rare. So these are called Q proofs, where Trump tells the audience, if Trump says Q is real, the mainstream media will immediately label Q as a terrorist organization. Trump, the head.
They already have. Fun fact. Slowdog 52. It's lumped in with right-wing terrorist threats. Slowdog 52 says the thing about 17 was there any meaning to 17 beyond it's rare? Obviously, Trump has his talking points that he's repeating at every speech. 17 was clearly some stat he was focused on. I have no idea. I would imagine some speechwriter. And if he did say 17 a lot, I have no idea. I do think a lot of it's probably just chance, but it wouldn't surprise me if at some point some speechwriter or someone around Trump knew about the Q stuff and decided to have them intentionally slip it into one of his speeches or multiple speeches because they understand that the crazy Q people are a big part of his base. But now I'm being a conspiracy theorist, so...
Head of the terrorist organization, so he can't come out and say...
You found a video where Obama says 17? Link it, please.
Q is real. So what he do is he'll drop hints, like talking about 17 a lot. If you look at the Q post...
If this is a Rickroll, so help me God.
So we're going into 4th of July weekend, and what more appropriate place to be than 1776?
Peter would definitely say, well, he's saying 1776. That's not 17.
This is an incubator for all sorts of transportation experts, engineers.
Which you'll never do, which is fine.
I've seen Q drops.
Q will many times he's posted the exact same second that Trump posted.
Q on average when he was posting, and this is on average, would post twice a day, every day, for like 3 years. That's an average, so sometimes there would be a week in between posts, but then there were other days when he'd post like 5 or 6 times, okay? Donald Trump also posts, or did post when he still had a Twitter, all the time. They're gonna post at the same time sometimes.
And sometimes even said something, he'll post something, and a minute later Trump will tweet and say the exact same thing. So these are called Q proofs. And you could say like 1 or 2 of them is a coincidence, but if they happen hundreds of times, that's what actually got me into believing in Q, because first I was like, wow, this is weird information. But then Q was like, watch this. And he posts the exact same second as Trump. And then he posts the same time as Trump again. And then he did it again, but this time he said the same message. And this time he posts before Trump, and he predicts what Trump is going to say. Or you know how Trump was, people know this, he was retweeting Q posts, not Q posts, Q content, Q memes, Q accounts often. There's articles all about this.
The Q people tend to suckle on Donald Trump's dick, and he's a narcissist, so he likes when people say nice things about him.
So in other words, he promoted the Q. Even the mainstream media has a bunch of articles on how he's fueling the Q conspiracy. These
Trump
are called
also
Q
retweeted
proofs.
a video where one of his supporters yelled white power, so you want me to make the same argument about that?
Well, 1 time is different than 100 times. I think you would agree. So
Trump retweeted white supremacist stuff more than once. No,
To
Trump
vilify
supporters
him.
and QAnon supporters just have a lot of really mentally unstable, violent thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know I am.
You might like his
Okay.
stuff. I think it's garbage, but you might like him.
And take 90% of your wealth. You don't think that you as a billionaire
You
would be able to
understand how
find
marginal
someone?
tax rates work?
I'm happy if you want to explain it to me. I don't know.
Peter, an almost a 30-year-old man, doesn't know how marginal tax rates work. Logarth of 20-bit says, Hannah's face says everything you need to know about how dumb this guy is. I guess you have to have a salary or get paid at all to understand taxes, so I guess I don't blame him there.
something
Okay,
specific.
Bumble Homestead says, I have no idea how you manage to just not constantly facepalm.
You know,
90%
marginal
tax
tax rate.
rate does not mean that all of your income gets taxed at 90%. You understand that, right?
No, actually, I didn't understand that. But what I
That's
the
not how
point I
tax
made.
rates work. You don't
Okay.
get taxed on the entirety of your money in the United States. You get income tax brackets. So your first $10,000 to $12,000, I'm not sure what it is now, very low to no taxes depending on your situation, and then the tax rate goes up on each bracket. So your 12 to 30 or something is taxed at a different rate. And then if you have like millions and millions of dollars, specifically that money is taxed at a higher rate. But your entire amount of money does not get taxed at 90%.
Okay, my point is, if you start siphoning away all the money from billionaires, the demand and market for ways to hide money increases, and
Okay, so
eventually
you crack down on that.
you can.
Mighty Welsh, thanks for subscribing for 3 months. Says, haven't gotten to catch you live in a minute, but love you. Thanks for your content. Thanks for watching. Razzle-Tazzle91 with 100 bits says, to be fair, I don't understand U.S. tax systems either. And Mighty Welsh with 300 bits. Thank you.
Can't crack down on it that easily.
Why?
Especially with
It frustrates me to no end that I try and talk about like reform to systems to stop the wealthy from hiding their money in other places, and Peter just refuses to accept that there's any way to crack down on that at all. It's just an inevitability that rich people are going to hide their money. Oh, I guess being rich is inherently evil then, isn't it, Peter? And we should probably do something about that.
talked to my friends are like, oh, I remember that too. But my memory got cut off, and one of my friends said he saw one of the crafts fly down.
Oh, this is the alien thing.
So we all get invited to go on
Stuff, because this is
go for it. Go for
bullshit
it.
conversation that we're not going to get anywhere on. Let me see. Oh, you've mentioned... I noticed in passing on some of your videos you mentioned aliens.
Yes. I love that topic. Please get into that one.
Do you believe that aliens have visited the planet Earth?
If you want to go down the rabbit hole, I'll give you a lot of stuff to
Please
amuse your
do.
audience. I personally have been abducted by aliens.
What?
Do you want to go down that wormhole? I'll tell you all my alien
Please,
stories.
tell me about you getting a... I like that he didn't say rabbit hole either. He said wormhole. That's the kind of thematic language that I think we should all strive to include in our stories. He was drugged by a creepy barbecue man. You are correct. Aliens, Peter. I've never wanted to hear anything more in my entire life. That image of the Pepe over my face is exactly how I felt when Peter told me he wanted to tell me about being abducted by aliens.
Heck yeah, we're on the same page, Hannah. So I was in college, out in the forest, taking a walk at night with a friend, and he points up at the sky and he's like, hey, look, there's an orb in this. People have been seeing lights in the sky. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then he points up the sky and there's like...
Found Peter's alien tape. It's a clip from a movie. I don't think I can play this. Ugh. I have not seen this movie. Alien abduction. Ugh. Gross.
like a weird...
Giga Sam with 50 bits says, it's explained on the HBO QAnon documentary that Ron Watkins was following Trump closely and had access to a tool that boosted his Twitter to the second most popular account, second only to Trump. Yeah, I gotta finish that documentary.
ball of light in the sky, but it was dark. And since I've lived next to airports all my life, I know that it could be anything. But it was weird. I've lived next to airports my whole life. I know what a plane, a helicopter, or drone looks like in the air. This was different. It was just a ball of light hovering there. But anyway, I didn't know what to make of it. A week later, I'm in my dorm room, and this weird creature or some type of human that looks like half human, half alien.
$6.66.
My dorm room was open. He walks by and he just stares at me. He walks by. I was like, what the hell? And then this guy somehow...
That was me, by the way. That was me looking at Baja, who was sitting right there on the floor listening to this stream on her laptop with headphones. It was me looking at her to confirm that she was hearing the same thing I was hearing.
In the course of a few days, befriends all my friends, like 10 or 12 friends, invites us to a barbecue with his hot girlfriend at a schoolhouse. And we all go to this
I
barbecue.
appreciate that he included the detail in the story that this guy's girlfriend was hot. I don't know why that was relevant to the story, but you know, those little details, they're important for the verisimilitude.
Barbecue at this schoolhouse, this abandoned schoolhouse that he bought supposedly for like $70,000.
He bought an abandoned schoolhouse. I was so focused on the other parts of the stories, I didn't bring up the weird fact that this guy bought an abandoned schoolhouse. Who does that?
We're having a barbecue. He's like, hey, this is my abandoned schoolhouse. You guys all want to go on the roof? I said, sure. So we all get invited to go on.
Don't covet thy neighbor's wife, Peter. Querulous Artisan also says the look Hannah is making in the VOD is the look of someone playing the hardest game of Don't Laugh ever.
The roof, and as the last person climbs up, we climbed up a ladder to get to the roof. No one was doing alcohol. There was no cannabis, no psychedelics, nothing involved. We were all sober. As the last person climbed to the top of the roof, this was 3 or 4 p.m., blue sky, pretty much no clouds. Someone points up the sky and sees an orb of light, and
RTK142 says, I know a lot of people who know someone who did that, bought an abandoned school. That's a little weird.
And we were like, what in the world was that? Totally looks like a UFO orb. And then all of a sudden another one appears, and then another and another. So there were, I think, about as many orbs in the sky as there were people. And then they started dancing around. And I could tell you this from my research, I was like, these are aliens. So we were like freaking out, getting so excited. And then, like that, my memory...
Also, I don't believe he was sober. Because according to people I've talked to, my inside source that knows Peter personally, according to them, he smokes weed constantly. So I find it a little hard to believe that he was sober during that.
disappears.
Considering it was a party.
And everyone else's memory disappears. The next thing...
Slowdog52 says... I know if I have access to time travel and can cross the infinite void of space, I'm going to use it by hanging out on Earth with my hot girlfriend, creeping around college dorms and barbecues with college kids.
We remember we were having another campfire that we don't remember building next to the schoolhouse, and we're just talking about like whipped cream and food, and no one's mentioned that we just talked about we just seen aliens. And then a week later, I was like, hey, I remember seeing aliens in the sky. And then my memory goes out. So I asked my friends, like, what happened? Because some people say, like, oh, you hallucinated. And then I talked to my friends, who are like, oh, I remember that too. But my memory got cut off. And one of my friends said he saw one of the crafts fly down and shine a light on us. And then what's weird is that it's multiple people. So it's not like me making up the story. We all experienced it. We have memory deletion, which is common abduction stories. And we have orbs in the sky, which I can't explain. And
I made the strategic choice to not interrupt him at all during this story and just let him go on, because I don't think there's anything I could have added to this story that didn't already... This section is just best served by Peter saying it in his own words, you know? Good Abels, thank you for subscribing with 3 months, says Hero Hannah. Hello. Cast Iron Pan says, I think all his friends were messing with him. Possibly, or they got drugged, which comes up in a sec, I think.
They were all floating around. They had invisibility cloaks because it went from blue sky to an orb all of a sudden. So they were taking off their invisibility cloak. I don't have any way to explain it. I do have more abduction stories, but that was the first one, and I had no way to explain it.
You have more. This has happened to you more than once.
At least 2 more times, I think.
Please,
sure.
I need to know. I need to know about these.
Okay.
Sounds like you ripped off the X-Files.
Well, since we're on the same page, the next time I was sleeping, this was like 4 years ago, I think, in my room with my daughter and my wife, and they were asleep. I'm an insomnia, so I couldn't fall asleep. The door was completely locked. Everything was locked in the house, and
Is insomnia linked with sleep paralysis? Little evidence has found significantly higher rates of sleep paralysis in those with insomnia. Okay. Increased insomnia symptoms in otherwise healthy individuals does show a link in sleep paralysis. Oh, so there might be? Okay. Some research has found that increased insomnia symptoms in otherwise healthy individuals does link to sleep paralysis. Okay. Mike Max with an image. Can I open this and stream? Someone check it. Eroding, thank you for subscribing with Prime for 4 months.
It was this extremely creaky apartment. You just walk in here, floorboards, because it was a cheap apartment. I
This
hear
is Ancient
someone
Aliens
walking,
guy.
boom,
It's you high trying to
boom,
explain.
someone walking to my door, and I start freaking out, and I was like, what in the world is happening? And then I was like, did I lock the door? The balcony was locked. What in the world happened? And I was like, I was getting very, very scared. I literally was freaking out. I put the covers over my head, and then I...
It's a little cute that Peter does the covers over the head thing like a 3-year-old. Like, is that gonna stop the aliens? Your sheet is going to stop that. I don't know.
Hear them get to the door of my bedroom. I hear the squeaky doorknob open. It opens, and then my memory disappears from then. And then next thing I remember, I'm sleeping on my stomach, which I never do. My head is at the feet of the bed, which has never happened before. And for the
They're aluminum sheets, obviously. That'll do it.
first time in 10 years, I slept through the night the whole time. I didn't wake up to go to the bathroom. And then I was wondering, was this a dream? Did I hear something? Why do I have memory deletion? Why am I my head on the feet of the bed? But I talked to my neighbor below, told him about it, and he said, oh, I saw the aliens that abducted you. And I said, what do you mean?
The neighbor was probably fucking with you, Peter. They were probably telling a joke. And since you can't even tell a movie from reality, I feel like you're probably just bad at reading intention. So you probably took his sarcastic comment seriously.
Are you kidding? He's like, no, I saw that UFO that abducted you. And I said, stop joking around. He's like, no, seriously, I'll show it to you. I recorded them. I said, what? Show me the video. And he shows the video that was recorded at the time that I was being abducted. And you have the same orb that I saw initially when I was in university floating over.
How does he determine that one glowing orb is the same as a different glowing orb he saw? Like, it could just be a different glowing orb.
Our apartment. And he's like, clearly, he's like, I've seen UFOs. That's a UFO. I was like, yeah, that's clearly a UFO to me.
Do you have this video anywhere?
Oddly enough, I asked him for the video later on. I didn't think to ask him that day, which is very dumb. I asked him later on. He said he deleted it. And I was like, oh,
That's
man,
convenient.
But basically,
I
it's
often
an orb in
delete
the sky.
Proof that
It
aliens
wasn't like
exist.
a beam of light shining on me, lifting me up. It wasn't something amazing. It was just an orb in the sky, steady, not making noise. And yeah, I've had some other really weird alien experiences.
All right, I'm going to present that all without comment. Thank you for sharing, Peter.
So you think we're alone in the universe? It's just Earth?
I
It's just
don't,
Earthlings?
actually. I find it interesting that you're Christian, but you believe in aliens. A lot of
It's
Christians
rare.
don't.
It's rare. My church is not happy about that.
It's so interesting to me that there's this conflict between Peter and his church and his, like, conspiracy beliefs. Andrew Patella with 20 bits says, I bet the neighbor deleted the video because it had no evidence of snipers on the roof or something.
Their belief is that we're the only people in the universe, and I am a little bit of a black sheep for believing in aliens. Most Christians don't believe in aliens because it contradicts their view on Earth and humanity and the Bible and God. But it's rare. But if you're abducted 3 or 4 times, that changes your mind a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I think there's other life in the universe. I don't, however, think it has visited us, nor do I think
Oh, really?
they probably will, yeah.
So you believe in aliens, but you just don't believe they're here yet.
Yeah, I think the distances are pretty insurmountable, but hey, again, human beings have said that about a lot of stuff over time, you know? I'm sure hundreds of years ago people would have said, oh, traveling around the globe in you know, a couple days, that's impossible, but I don't think that,
the way that they travel through vast pieces of areas of time is using a wormhole technology that basically folds time. And they don't travel through time and space. They literally travel through time. It's some type of time machine technology.
So they're time-traveling aliens.
That is the only way to travel. Far distances with aliens, the only way to get from here to the nearest star system is to either a wormhole or time technology. There's no other way because it would take too long.
Where are you getting that information? Just curious.
I've done a ton of research on aliens.
I'm a sweet person for even entertaining this. No, I'm not. This was hilarious to me. This entertains me, guys. I'm not sweet for being entertained by Peter's shenanigans.
You get abducted over and over again, you start researching everything about aliens.
Okay.
There's a website called Gaia, GAIA.com, and they have a show called Cosmic Disclosure where a bunch of whistleblowers have come out.
Existential
talked
Baguette,
about
thanks for
working for
subscribing for
secret
9
space
months.
programs,
That's a
which-
sub baby. What's the female equivalent for Peter? Petra. This stream baby's name is Petra, after Peter. Shadow Witch says, so when I was younger, I was religious, into ancient aliens, ghost conspiracies, etc. I was down the rabbit hole and didn't see stuff, and then I did many drugs too, and want to experience it. I got older and I'm more scientific and want to, but still haven't seen or experienced anything. Bunch of BS. What am I doing wrong here? Oh no.
By the way,
Ghosts aren't real. Ghosts not real.
is the new Space Force. There is information coming out about crafts in the sky. Millions of people have seen these orbs of light in the sky, these crafts. Are you saying that none of that is UFO, that's all man-made?
They're UFOs, but UFO means unidentified flying object. I don't think UFO is
You
synonymous
don't think
with...
none of the... So what about the tens of millions of people who say they've been abducted? Is that all hallucinations? Or
I think a lot
lying?
of it's sleep paralysis.
Freaking Out 99 says, I've done a lot of research equals I only read the sources that said what proved the conclusion I've already made. And then Pyromancer with 20 says, I've done it. Oh, did you find a 17?
Merrick comes in and not because he necessarily agrees with the student, but impromptu provides a vigorous defense of free speech. You know, as a 17 or 18-year-old kid, that
Nice.
But my experience was with 12 other people while I was wide awake in the middle of the day with memory deletion and multiple orbs in the sky. How would you explain that one?
I would have to talk to those other people to see if they actually corroborate your story if you're just saying it.
And if they did?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would think that you all got collectively drugged before I would assume you were abducted by aliens. I'm not kidding. Someone could have spiked something you were all drinking.
Spiked the hamburgers for sure. Either that or was aliens.
So you did
There's no
eat
other
food
thing.
collectively beforehand.
We had a barbecue from this really weird guy who looked like
He even includes the detail that it's a weird guy that definitely probably drugged them. Zero Horror Show with 20 bits says, my tired ass read the stream title as Getting Over It with Peter Anthon and thought it was a sequel game. Yeah, this guy definitely drugged them. I don't know if he thought it would be funny to, like, put some mushrooms or LSD or something in the food, but seems like that's probably what happened.
a half alien, half human hybrid.
Did he happen to put mushrooms on the burger?
It could have been possible because who knows what. That was a crazy experience. Like, either we were drugged up.
I
and
think
that's
he
why we
drugged
all
you,
have-
Peter. I think he drugged all of you.
Well, that doesn't explain how when you get drugged, you see different things. We didn't.
You can all experience something similar. Like, let's say there was some bright light in the sky, whatever it happened to be. He said it was a clear in the middle of the day, so maybe it was even the sun, and they were all really high on LSD or mushrooms or something and weren't expecting it. One person saying, like, guys, see the orb, could then get the rest of the people to all sort of share in this collective delusion, hallucination. Pyromancer says, pro tip, don't give people drugs unknowingly. Yeah, that's a dick move no matter what.
didn't see any psychedelic experiences. None of us were
Have you ever
tripping.
done mushrooms?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
Based Peter.
And you don't see. You're not completely. It's not like you suddenly see an orb in the sky. That's not a psychedelic experience. You get high. Things start looking weird. Auditory starts looking weird. It's very different than being totally sober, not being high, and seeing orb in the sky, and then memory deletion, and then you don't remember how you got down the schoolhouse.
It probably depends
I
on what he
definitely-
spiked your burgers with.
And also, even if you were to say, oh, that was a psychedelic experience, you can't explain like my other abduction experiences or other weird
Those
things.
sound
that
like
happened.
sleep paralysis.
Oh, sleep paralysis. So how is it that I slept through the whole night and my friend caught a UFO flying over? There's no credibility to that.
I would imagine that's probably a coincidence.
Or
I
he was
see.
fucking with him.
Well, I think that's all part of the. What was that conspiracy they made about you?
Someone thought I was a lizard person.
At this point, I'm not doubting it, Hannah.
That's true. I am a lizard person. They were actually right.
I knew it. I knew it. You're the guy that abducted me, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to check in and see how
This
you're doing.
part of the experiment, testing my intelligence.
Yeah, we're seeing if the chips we put in your brain to make you susceptible to conspiracy theories are working, and they seem to be. Honestly, I think we need to turn the settings down a little bit. They're a little extreme.
I think that's the quip that I'm most proud of during the stream.
Well, let's see if I have any other questions. Would you be willing to denounce what you said about that I want to kill it? Do you, after talking to me and hearing how I have saved a lot of lives and I only want mass
I
murderers
don't agree that Peter
to
has
go to
saved any
trial,
lives. Sorry,
would
Peter.
you be willing to take back that statement that give me death threats that I want to kill? Do you generally believe I want to kill everyone who disagrees with me?
I'll
Come on.
qualify
Come
the
on.
statement. How about that? I'll qualify
What?
it for you. I don't.
He's so
if
focused
you
on
can't
that.
use it to determine whether or not someone's statements are actually true, regardless of their personal belief in those statements.
The whole point. Yes,
really quite shocking. Inside the ugly transition at the Pentagon, the effort to wanted to talk about. It looks like the same guy.
Oh yeah, again, he's trying to
I
tell
think
me
that
Biden's a body
eyes are
double, and then we point out the
with-
scars from his facial lift surgery.
Can you open this link and show this?
They're QAnon people who believe that Trump has access
the best
to
image
either
explaining
time
Peter's
travel
alien
technology,
abduction.
or the one I see more often is looking glass technology,
Invalid
which they
dynamic
purport
link.
to be able to basically, using
That one
probability,
worked.
see
When you
into
smoke
the
a little
future.
of the giggly bush, and you
This
see a
was,
tray
according
of
to them,
leftovers. Jesus
partially developed by Nikola
Peter has
Tesla,
obviously never
as
been
well
given
as
hallucinogens
Trump's
without knowing it. The trip, no
uncle,
matter
I
what the
think,
drug, is not the same. Yeah.
Is what I've read, at least from the QAnon people. I don't think any of this is true, obviously, but. So what are
I
your
didn't hear the
thoughts?
whole uncle thing. I thought it was aliens that gave into it, but who knows? But the whole Project Looking Glass thing is basically the reason that Trump will win and become president is because he has this technology that allows him to, is basically some type of quantum computer that with some type of time travel like technology that allows him to predict all moves in advance to perfectly plan out a basically a takedown of the deep state. Because
Can I ask you, do you know what a quantum computer is?
I don't know a lot about it, but I do know they're very difficult to build.
But can you
and
tell me
the
like
one-
literally anything about what a quantum computer is or what they're used for?
It's
Another number 17.
Despite these differences, on December 17th, 2014,
Beautiful.
it's related to quantum physics, and basically
He never did send me proof of the death threats, no.
it can calculate and set up this possibility or that possibility, but all possibilities simultaneously. So it's perfect for predicting strategy, because you can predict all the different possibilities of and counter moves. So you can
Yeah, the non-binary information that quantum computers can use are called qubits. I didn't want to bring that up specifically because he'd be like, aha, qubits!
put out a very good strategy to defeat the deep state, for example.
Not really. Quantum computer.
The word is qubit, Hannah, and yes, it is non-binary. Yeah.
Computers are computers. See, typically computers, traditional computers work in on and off, like ones and zeros, binary, right? Quantum computers can work in ones, zeros, and another thing that I think is sort of like neither or other things, and that's why they can be used for very specific tasks, but there's no evidence that they can be used for predicting the future, like the way you are describing.
Well, the public quantum computers, the one that they're
The
developing,
public quantum computers.
no one's admitted like, oh, I have a quantum computer that can do that. But Project Looking Glass, which is a secret technology that Trump has, they can use this. I'm not sure if it was aliens that gave them to him or John G. Trump, because what I heard is that John G. Trump took all of Tesla's files or documents before they got like stolen or destroyed. So he does have a lot of technology and
Lukagen
stuff like
is the
that.
best. Thank
So
you
in
for
theory, they could
following.
have created Project
Sarsaparilla,
Looking
thanks for
Glass.
subscribing for
I
6
think
months.
it was aliens that
Hi,
gave them the
Kitty.
technology. I don't know.
Come say hi.
But
to the
I do
fine
believe they have
people.
it. They have it, and they're using it to predict moves.
So why did Trump lose the election then? Seems like he should have been able to
Great
foresee
question.
that.
Great question, Hannah. I'm glad you asked. Obama, there was a lot of people who committed treason and did horrible, heinous acts.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, okay. And when Trump was going to become president, when he won, Obama pardoned hundreds, if not thousands, of these people. And since Trump wants to do everything legally, he has to
Divide the
not
amount
only
of
become
bits by
president
two,
again, but he
coincidence.
also has to, all these people that were pardoned by Obama, he has to set them up to commit crimes again, especially treasonous crimes or any type of crime that won't harm someone but would get the death penalty, which usually is treasonous acts like overthrow.
Mike Max says, I wonder why QAnon don't check other language alphabet as in Spanish. In the Q, in the 17th letter is P. The pa-on.
During an election or something like that. So
you want Trump to
It's
kill
not-
all his political enemies. Jailing them
It's
isn't
not-
enough. You want them to be killed.
it's not as simple as in the movies where, you know, Trump swoops in and kills all the bad guys. He wants to do everything legally, which means if they've been
I
pardoned,
think the
he has to
aliens are
set
in that
up an
closet
opportunity
behind
for them
Peter's
to
couch.
commit treason again and then put infected and with demons, information and stuff going on. The point I'm making is the things that the military's been doing under the Biden administration are good things.
So you
and
agree
for
with
people like
Biden.
me-
You like Biden then.
I like the military actions that have been
It's so funny to me that he basically is saying he agrees with Biden's military policy, and he doesn't even understand that that's what he's doing.
under Trump while Biden's
So,
been inaugurated.
just to be clear, if Biden goes through all his terms and Trump never comes back and you realize that it's been Biden the whole time, you will change your mind and say, actually, I agreed with Biden's military strategies.
Yes. If there's evidence
Oh,
that he was
good.
commanding military, I'll be like, all right, I had it wrong. At least he's doing good.
Number 3 Obama thing.
Without health insurance. We've now covered more than 17 million people.
Thank you.
Stuff in the military. Because the stuff that I've seen when him killing terrorists in Syria, the bombing in Syria, and also defending Taiwan, those are good actions and complete in alignment with Trump's military agenda, not in alignment with Biden's military agenda, because Biden would defend China and help get Taiwan for China. But
Not really.
they've been protected.
Andrew Batella, sorry I missed your bits message. It says, there used to be tri-binary computers that have something like 0, 1, -1. Qubits are not that. They can encode many different mixtures of 0 and 1, thus why their power of representation and computation is an order of magnitude higher. Interesting. Do you know what, like, the theoretical application of quantum computers actually is? Just because I'm not familiar.
Well, if you believe, you know, the $1 billion that Hunter Biden got from China, that wasn't for free.
Hold on,
That's
someone has
called
a
a quid pro
source
quo.
debunking the thing. Fact-checking claims about Hunter Biden, Joe Biden in China.
Encryption
Let me guess. PolitiFact?
and
It is
doing math
PolitiFact.
really fast.
Okay, so the leftists, you believe PolitiFact? So, do you know who PolitiFact is? You know they have 100% lying, fake news, leftist bias, right?
That's
They've
a lot of
never cited-
buzzwords.
They've never sided with Republicans, coincidentally, because
Oh,
they're
Republicans
always
should probably stop lying then.
PolitiFacting.
I would doubt that's true. I would imagine they also fact-check Biden, because Biden's been wrong. For instance, I know Biden got fact-checked the other day on his claims about
the first time.
buying
For the
claims
first
about
time.
buying guns at
Yes.
oh gosh, what was it? Like
the gun conference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He got fact-checked on
Yeah,
it.
that's the first time I was shocked. I was like, wow, PolitiFact is correcting him. I was quite confused by
Yeah,
that.
Republicans get fact-checked more because they lie more.
I see. Well, or PolitiFact has, you know, they're just part of the whole fake news media trying to control the narrative.
Or
Anyway,
Republicans
we'll find
lie
out
more.
soon, right? So, I have a question for you.
Sure.
If Trump comes in and exposes the
Number 4, wow, you're nailing it.
on that. Healthcare prices have grown at their lowest level in 5 decades. 17 million more Americans have gained coverage, and we...
Beautiful.
Bunch of Democrats and even Republicans as being
Like
compromised.
Matt Gaetz. We got to talk about Matt Gaetz, by the way.
Yeah, I can talk about that one for sure.
What's the significance of 17? QAnon people think when Trump says the number 17, it's a message to them because the 17th letter of the alphabet.
If it turns out that I'm right about everything by the end of this year, and Trump becomes president, but he's saving
Obama equals Q. He's just been trolling since he retired. Confirmed.
us the world from an evil satanic cabal, will you
Bye-bye,
like Trump?
kitty.
If he's saving the world, if he's saving us from deep
If
state
it
cabal,
came out
or will you always
with
say that?
definitive proof that all that was true, not only
Yes.
would I like Trump, I will give you $5,000.
Great. I got to record. I'm glad I'm recording this video so I can get your $5,000. So you're all for defeating the bad guys and all that, and if it's happening, you're gonna love Trump.
Sure.
You even make a video saying Peter was right.
Dr. Goth THC, thank you for gifting 17 subs to the community. Seems sus. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right about a lot of the stuff.
Perfect.
Great deal. Matt Gaetz, he came out and said that the U.S. government, I think it was the Department of Justice or something like that.
Just to be
he
clear,
said
will you give, if it turns out by the end of the year Trump isn't in, will you give me money? Just to be...
I'll give you what I can afford, and I will make a video promoting you for sure and be like,
Peter, I will take one of the crowns. You don't have to give me $5,000. Give me one of those sweet bullet crowns and we'll be even. Towing24 says, so something for next time. Peter kept saying the military took an oath to uphold the Constitution. What we need is to send him a link to the Constitution and ask him where in the Constitution it's legal to commit a coup. Solomon52, thank you for gifting a sub. Yeah, maybe we'll go over the Constitution in the next stream we do with him. That'd be fun.
like, you know what, Hannah was right about a lot of things. Subscribe to her channel, and I was a dummy. I'll give you that much.
Great. I'll keep you to that.
Matt Gaetz came out and called out the corruption in the U.S. government, called them as one of the biggest sex trafficking organizations in the world.
Which is ironic considering he's a sex trafficker, huh?
Well, right after that is when he got accused of the whole sex trafficking.
No, that's actually when it came out. The investigation of Matt Gaetz started under Trump's DOJ.
Well, I've heard that he came out and exposed them for sex trafficking, and then they ended up attacking him, accusing him of the same thing.
Nope. The investigation started under the Trump administration.
Hey, we'll find out. Do you have a link to that?
That's his fallback, as always. We'll see. Okay.
Or it's not. It's somewhere more reliable, maybe like
chat. Actually, do you want to find one for me so we can continue talking? Chat's been good about finding me links. I'd appreciate it.
Anyway, it's possible. It's possible Matt Gaetz is involved in some criminal stuff. I'm not completely sold that he's a good guy. It's possible.
He was also the only congressperson to vote against a bill that would help stop sex traffickers.
News to me.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right on this one, Hannah.
You're hanging out in circles that don't exactly like facts, so...
Pyromancer found another Obama saying 17.
6 years ago in Copenhagen, we will reduce our carbon emissions in the range of 17%.
God, I love you, chat. Anyone who takes their time to help me, like, get resources for this shit, especially the banal, boring stuff, like looking for Obama saying the number 17... It's beautiful. I couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you, Pyromancer. Mike Max 321 says, Peter, Trump control the U.S. military. He tell the truth. The truth will get out. Yet Trump still needs to speak in code, even though the most powerful man on earth. Makes sense.
Who knows? I do get some stuff wrong, but I'm still very confident that the main stuff will end up being correct.
Okay.
The details, it's hard because there's a lot of disinformation out there. A lot of people pushing lies. I think we're in a big disinformation war, so it's easy to get certain things wrong. But Trump will be back. He's basically been promising that to all his followers, that he said, I'll be back in some form.
Sure, he
Great
thinks
things are
20, but
happening.
he's talking about 2024.
What you doing, kitty?
He says,
Sounds like you're touching something that's clinky. That sounds dangerous. I'll be right back. Yeah? What? We good.
our greatest days are just ahead. Just ahead doesn't sound like 2024
It's
to
a
me.
vague
That sounds-
platitude. Here's a link. I'll put it in. I'll email it to you, I guess. This is a link to an article talking about how the investigation started under the Trump administration in the last few months of it.
I think I broke his brain with that little fact.
All right.
I feel so bad. He was not prepared.
Like I said, I could be wrong about the Matt Gaetz things, but what I did hear is he attacked them and he attacked them first. I could be wrong.
Here's another
Like I said, I
source
do
from
get-
BBC I'll send you.
I do get certain things wrong, but I am very confident Trump's going to come back. He's been
What have you gotten right?
Feeling-
You say that I've gotten some things wrong, but that sort of implies that you've gotten things right. What things have you gotten right?
I believe I was one of the people early on that said that no matter what happens, the military will back Trump and go in accordance with Trump's agenda. And since then, the military has been doing good things, which either
Right,
means
under
Biden is
Biden.
a good guy.
Press secretary saying this is on 1/17/17.
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't actually have any announcements at the top, but but because today marks my last briefing, I hope you'll indulge me a couple of personal thoughts before I go to your questions.
CCB00 says, Hannah listening to this debate again is like what my head does automatically every argument I've ever had. Pyromancer has another Obama saying the number
I
17.
won't go on a soapbox here, but there's 17 million people who have health insurance who didn't have it.
Thank you.
As I prepared to stand here at this podium for the last time, I thought a lot about the first time.
Or that Trump is secretly commanding the military. For me, that's evidence that I was right that Trump still commands military and they're backing
But he
him.
doesn't. You don't actually have evidence Trump controls the military. You just like what the military's doing, and therefore you're ascribing it to Trump. You're working backwards. You see, you're not looking at evidence and then coming to a conclusion. Your conclusion is Trump must be in control of the military, and then you're working backwards.
Except that if you look at what happened under Obama and other deep state, actors, there was just wars and wars and killing civilians.
Which happened under
But-
Trump, too. It increased under Trump.
That's not true at all. If you look
It
at
is.
how many people
I
died,
cited
no.
sources earlier in the thing. You just called them fake news.
Look, the truth will eventually come out. If these are all fake news articles, we'll find out. If they're not, we'll find out. But from what I heard, for example, ISIS grew under Obama and was destroyed under Trump. How do you explain that?
Oh boy, that's quite a claim. We had a prolonged military intervention with ISIS. It took a while.
So why did it grow under Obama?
Probably because geopolitically it was advantageous for them to grow at the time. Or not advantageous, it was easier for them to grow at the time. I don't do a lot of foreign
Well,
policy
I
stuff,
do
so
that.
I can't talk about the actual, material reasons that happened, but...
It was
Pyromancers have been passing on
my
ties
ISIS
research
isn't
says
entirely gone, but as far as
I really got to look more into international politics stuff because that is my weak point. 100%. That's my weak spot. I do not know anything about shit like that.
Understand, chat, it is lower than it
99%
has been.
gone. Yes,
I don't know if I'd say
99%.
99%, but sure.
Right. I hope that nothing happens and it doesn't get
Osama
violent.
bin Laden
but
was killed under
there are people
the
who are
Obama
concerned that
administration,
that there are Republicans who might get very, very angry, especially
I'd say tens.
tens of millions. Well, I believe hundreds of millions, and if true, it is.
There's only like 300 million people in the United States, so.
But Q is a worldwide phenomenon. It's not just Americans that believe it. So if it's in the hundreds of millions, then it has to be, and if it's the biggest quote unquote conspiracy theory in the world, there's got to be some incredible intelligence behind it to convince people.
Why?
To
People
post the
believe
same
dumb
kind-
stuff all the time. There are tons of flat earthers. Do you think that means flat Earth is true?
Flat Earth is totally false.
Okay.
But if you
So
look at the
you
amount of
agree
flat
that things
earthers-
can be popular and also be false?
Flat Earth is barely popular. It's at
The irony. What's this clip?
if these are all fake news articles, we'll find out. If they're not, we'll find out. But from what I heard,
Simultaneous drink.
for example,
yes.
ISIS grew under Obama and was.
Sounds like Kitty is hunting. Good job, Kitty. She'll hunt her play fake mice, and she'll make really loud meowing sounds. Yeah, wow. Oh, did you bring me your mouse? Good job. Yeah. She's so cute.
That's like a tiny percent of crazy people.
I
Q
could
is
say the
hundreds
same
of
thing
millions.
about Q, relatively
Well,
speaking.
If he was a LARPer, how would they attract hundreds of millions of people to believe him? In your case, even tens of millions. That's pretty impressive for a LARPer.
Yeah, that's how a lot of conspiracy theories start. A lot of people believe in the fake moon landing, too. That doesn't make it true. A lot of people believe in JFK conspiracy theories. That doesn't make it true.
They're either the most successful LARPer in the world or a
Yeah, it's that one.
military intelligence
It's the
operation.
first one.
I mean, I guess we'll find out if...
Again, we got off topic. Where do you think Q has gone? Q hasn't posted in months. He's left you all hanging.
Okay,
How do
I'll
you
answer
feel about that?
Q was an operation, and the operation is over. There's
Oh,
no
so
point.
he's done? He's done talking to you now?
I don't think Q will ever
Is ISIS destroyed, or did Trump make that claim? I'm sure Trump made that claim. I don't know about the actual condition of ISIS currently.
post again because there was an agenda, there was an operation, there was a goal, and it was successful. People were woken up. Trump won in a landslide.
He didn't, though. He demonstrably did not.
I'm just telling you what the operation was for: to help Trump win in a landslide,
Fail.
to wake people up, and to create a bunch of digital warriors. And that's been a success. There's no point for any more Q posts. From my understanding, there won't be any more Q posts.
You ever feel bad that he abandoned you guys? To be on your own now and deal with people like me?
It's an operation. He's not like someone who's like giving us hope, and when he's gone, we're like, oh no, he's abandoned us. It's more like
I've seen a lot of Q people say basically that. They're
That he's
mad that
abandoned
Q
us.
stopped posting.
There are a lot of people who believe in Q who have lost hope, and then now they believe
Oh,
it's
no,
a
Q
LARPer,
broke up
or
with
they
him.
lost
That's tough,
trust in
buddy.
Trump because
Good for
they
them.
see
It is.
Biden. They see Biden as president, and
Yes.
they're like, "Was this part of the plan?" They don't understand that it was part of the plan. It was, like I said, it's part of the plan because Trump has multiple goals: follow the law, defeat the deep state, set up traps for people to commit treason again, people that have been pardoned. It's a very complex military operation. I know I'm not going to convince you. I'm just explaining what I believe.
I understand. Let me see. I know obviously your wife and your dad and probably your mom know about your YouTube. Does your extended family know you're into this stuff? And how?
New Rock Shirt, thanks for gifting a sub, and Pyromancer number 7.
So excited to see it. When they get to be 17 and 14, then they still love you, but
How are you finding these? Killjoy102 says, so ISIS was receding territory while Obama was in office. It did lose its last major city held under Trump, but it's not like Obama did nothing. Gotcha. 74 Quinn 74, thank you for subscribing for 8 months. Says, hell yeah.
How do they feel about it?
They do know. There's different opinions on it. But I think if you make a political channel, some people are just going to get bothered. There's always going to be some people who are going to get offended. Politics is a very emotional topic, so you're gonna hurt someone's feelings. I would say that I'm getting more of a neutral response, not super angry, not super happy, just like.
Any politician is perfect, though. I don't worship politicians like you do.
Did you vote in the 2006 this election or no?
I voted in every election that I had the ability to. Let me see.
You voted for Biden.
I did. Let me see. Sister Ivanka, brother-in-law Jared Kushner, both of whom hold senior positions in the administration, whose companies and investment portfolios netted anywhere from $29 million to $135 million last year. Cross-border equity consortium and partisan hacks. I like what I tried to read I like that I tried to read a source for him, and he got bored and told me to stop. Oh.
So you have to go in a couple minutes.
Okay.
But just one last question.
Clockwork Van, thanks for gifting a sub.
Why aren't they going after Trump now that he doesn't have any presidential protection?
They are. The New York State Department of Justice is working on financial crimes for him.
I see. That's all?
I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. I'm happy to never listen about Trump ever again. I want him to go away. I think he's a shitty person.
Do you think he's going to go to jail? Do you think he's going to go to jail?
Oh, probably not. We live in America. Rich people don't go to jail.
I see. All right, we'll end it on that note. I got to go.
All right, Peter. Well, thank you for...
For sure. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thanks for coming on. I do not endorse anything you've said here. What did Jordan Peterson do now? Yeah, he's doing the Hail Lobster, like Hail Hydra. Yeah. Not great. Ironically, using fascist imagery to own the libs. I think you're very, very wrong, and I look forward to seeing how you, move forward in August and stuff when nothing happens, so...
For sure. And I do wish you well. If any of my supporters are doing death threats, I think that's ridiculous.
Same.
And
no one harass Peter, please.
I think that it's legal. And
I don't know where the fourth kind thing was.
Car that Biden is.
Stuff happens to people.
I think that one's Pentagon, Biden, and things went.
Defamation is very high.
Purposes. Well, and what's your take on all this?
Sorry.
I don't see that changes your mind a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I think aliens.
That's called Gaia. There is information coming. There is information.
Talk to those other people to see if they actually corroborate your story.
Experience. There's no credibility to that.
I would imagine that's probably all at once.
Or is that not a scam?
Not necessarily. They're advocating for policies that would... How do you determine what's a lie just based on advocating for...
purposes, but like I said, a lawsuit is going to probably cost more than what I'll get from you.
Defamation is very high. I can't find the clip of the fourth kind thing. That was funny, though. Harassing Peter would be like punching Play-Doh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure someone's harassing him. I would like to think it's not from my audience. I would never advocate for that, and no one should harass Peter. I don't think Peter's right, but I don't think he deserves to be harassed either. Pyromancer with number 8.
Mr. Kier and Mr. Mashar must reach an agreement by August 17th.
Killing it. All right, let's find something else to watch for a little while. I thought the debate went overall pretty well. I had some stuff I need to brush up on. I need to brush up on international politics for sure. I think I did we didn't actually cover the part where we talked about Venezuela briefly, but I know almost nothing about Venezuela, so I gotta actually look into that. Other than that, I thought it went okay. I don't know. Has Peter posted any new videos? He hasn't. What's this guy up to? This is Nathan Thompson, Flat Earther. Kevin Logan enjoyed it. Did he watch it?
Dang, that bird is loud.
I just got done going over Peter, yeah. Just get to the part where you do the flat earth stuff.
Oklahoma has some of the prettiest birds I've seen anywhere in the country.
I keep getting ridiculous spam texts with links. I hate that shit. Mike Mack says, did you watch Crowder try to recreate Floyd's death by saying the knee to the neck didn't kill him, it was the drug, even though the forensics said it was the knee to the neck that killed Floyd? Crowder tried to get his friends to put a knee on him, but he really doesn't if you watch the video compared to Floyd's death. I've seen other people cover it. I might cover it on Shudwatch at some point, but honestly, that's just disgusting to me. I don't know. Is this the guy that allegedly stole money from friends to tour America? Yes. The
Totally resembled crack cocaine. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone that you know, I'm sure, Tracy.
Hey guys, I'm just coming back from a 2-week strike. Sorry about the brief intermission, but I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. I'm one strike away from losing this channel also.
What a shame.
I've already had one channel deleted and the Facebook group with 150,000 members. So in the last 6 months, we went from 180,000 subs to 1,500. Thanks, YouTube. But I don't care. All things work towards good for those that love the Creator and are called according to His purpose. Blessed are you when men curse you.
Did Nathan ever have that many subscribers on YouTube? I didn't think he did. I thought he had like 30,000 on YouTube.
You and revile you and speak
on his older channel.
All kind of evil.
If only. And number 9.
Growing faster than what they spend on health insurance. That hasn't happened in 17 years.
Beautiful.
Evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Rejoice, for great is your reward in heaven. I'm going to be in New Mexico next week. I'm going to be in Arizona the week after, and then going back to back to Cali. So if anyone's on the way in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Phoenix, or San Diego, let me know. flatearthflyers@gmail.com. I'll be here all week. Love you guys. See you in the next heavily censored and demonetized video. Boom.
God, that's lame. This was someone that was sent to me during the debate yesterday. Peter has BitChute and one of these as well, a Rumble. February, April.
You know those conversations you have where someone says, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news.
How many followers were people like you following for the lulz? A lot, based on his like to dislike ratios. Can I promise you great rewards for our belief, Hannah? Yes, to show your belief, I need bits and gift subs, and your great reward is that I come and bless you with my presence on a daily basis. You're welcome. I'm joking, obviously.
You go, okay, give me the...
Who the hell uses BitChute and Rumble? Right-wingers and conspiracy theorists who constantly get banned. Giga Sam says, I'm doing my taxes. This is providing some great entertainment. Thanks. Yeah, I did my taxes sometime last month. I'm so glad I got that done. CCRBOO says, I'm ready to be blessed. I bless you. Or however people do the thing.
The bad news. So this video is going to be all bad news, but I will do a good video. But this is a public service announcement for anyone living in Australia and also my expats that are caught out of the country.
Razzle Tazzle says, all praise be the Hannah. And Von Tug says, which is the My Pillow Guy platform, or is that not out yet? It's called Frank Speech. It's supposed to open up on the 20th.
As you can see behind me, I've been working on a timeline. I've actually run out of paper. Well,
can I stream about Peter's Mooney offshoot sometime? What do you mean? K Genesis says, do we get to speak in tongues? Yeah, whenever you want. Mike Max 321 says, sovereign citizenship. You guys do taxes.
Put more paper up, and I could keep going and going and going with this, but I want to be part of the solution and not part of the perpetual problem. Australia, we have been cuckolded. It's a good word, isn't it? We have been duped. We have been tricked. We have been robbed. We have been...
I did not expect to hear the phrase Australia has been cuckolded today, but here we are.
Abused. And this is the stuff that we should be taught at school.
Kids, listen up. Today we're going to teach you how our nation has been cucked. Bitter Grin with 20 bits says, praise Hannah. Oh, his religious group. We covered it in the research stream prior to the discussion.
Hopefully by now you will have realized that everything we've ever been taught is a lie. And so now is the time to replace what you think you thought with what is really the past. And so our knowledge of history in general is actually almost a crime. Well, according to Jordan Peterson and Marxism.
Oh, no!
So I'm going to flick it around and I'm going to try and work through chronologically. Some stuff will pertain to the world because really we are, I know it's a horrible world, we are one world, not New World Order, don't get that twisted. And I'll try and go through it chronologically. So grab your popcorn, grab a pen and paper. I might not be totally 100% perfect with everything, but that is for you to look into and do your own research. This is just...
Bard Like Moses says, it's weird when people do movie reviews, get demonetized, and say they have it loaded on Rumble. This person doesn't seem like a chud, so it caught me off guard. Yeah, I don't know. It happens. How do I find these people? This person was sent to me yesterday, so sometimes people send me links. Sometimes I find them in my own off time. Because I like to listen to conspiracy people for fun, which is why the conspiracy stuff even gets covered by me. I wouldn't cover it if I didn't find it entertaining. Razzle Tazzle says, today we're going to learn how our nation has been cucked. Replace the C with an F and you're pretty much have Welsh history lessons.
A threat to the world, as we saw in the appalling shoot-down of MH17. A tragedy that took so many innocent lives.
My way my brain works, okay? So I'm going to spin it around. I've had requests to have this typed out so that people can read it properly. I can take screenshots for you, or you can screenshot it yourself.
Oh, this is loony. This is Looney Tunes. This is legitimate and unironic conspiracy theorist with like a ooh.
So, all right. I'm going to go back to the beginning, okay? So in the very beginning, we have a hierarchy of existence, okay? This is the natural order of things. God, or source, I have realized since that they have taken God away from us, deliberately. Then living man and woman, then Bill of Rights and Constitution. Yes, Australia does not have a Bill of Rights, and we've got a pretty dodgy constitution at the moment. Documents. Then comes the judicial system, you know, policing, that sort of stuff. Governments. See how low the governments come? Then public servants, which are police and people like that. And then legal fiction, persons. You are a person. So we're in a bit of a pickle. No, actually,
I think this is a sovereign citizen conspiracy theorist. Von Tuck says, Rumble has movie reviews that abuse copyright. In a parallel universe, the Nostalgia Critic is Rumble's top creator. You're not wrong. Andrew Patella says, I guess NBs have taken God away from you since we're not in the hierarchy.
Actually, we're in a lot of trouble, actually. So,
how can you take away a supernatural being? Ghostbusters, obviously.
You know, if we go back I'm going to go further back than this, but did you know Jesus in 34 AD was the key holders to the Vatican, right? He passed those keys over to Peter in 1970. In 79 AD, Peter actually went to Persia to borrow money to build the Vatican, okay? There are two keys. They actually look like this. When they join together, they make a cross, which is why the popes wear those symbols backwards. They're the two keys.
Tea with Goblin says in Australia we'd say she has a few roos loose in the top paddock. Alex Zandarov, thanks for subscribing with Prime. And Amori Miku says predictive Ghostbusters reference. Yes.
Now, as of 2000 and... correct me, around about 2000 maybe?
Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate
Russell,
your kind
full
words.
colon, Russell hyphen J. Gould and full colon David hyphen Wynne Miller were the Vatican key holders. Okay, so that's an interesting point. I'm going to go way back. Okay, Roman Empire. Magna Carta, you might have heard the Magna Carta, 1215. 529, 534 AD. This is the Roman Empire where they joined church and state. 1302, Unum Sanctum. Pope Boniface VIII declared all souls
Slinky
his.
Slug Butter, thanks for following.
1536 See of Rome Act, which actually sold off all the assets. Pope Paul and the Jesuits began to oversee all the assets. You may be aware of the 1666 Cestu QV, that is the birth certificate fraud. So if you're not familiar with that, that is a very big, bitter pill to digest. So check out the birth certificate fraud. Warcastle's Robert Horton does a good one on that. Because Joseph was such a good servant, people running the government. It just cannot. And it's a dissoluble constitution. It can't be changed in any way, shape or form without a referendum. A referendum is 7. Harold Holt,
This is
he was
just
the
40 minutes of crazy.
And grabbed the...
Jesus, this poor lady. Okay, she goes in sovereign citizens, not just conspiracy theorists, I think.
So the first step to creating your Live Life claim is by posting...
What in the F is this sun-baked bovine excrement? Sovereign citizen. CCRB says, you'd think she'd be able to find a history book instead of writing this out on a wall. You'd think so. Killjoy102 says, did she just try to link the Magna Carta into Horton Hears a Who? And then Pyromancer with another one of the Obama saying 17 things.
In 17 years. That shows you the power of persistence.
An envelope to yourself. So go and get a yellow-brown A4 envelope. They call them C4, which are a couple of millimeters longer than an A4. And you're going to write your name on the front in quantum grammar. And you're going to write your address.
Quantum grammar?
And you're going to send it to yourself. So seal the envelope, write your address on the back. When you go into the post office, in Australia, they're going to put probably 2 $1.10 stamps on there. And they're going to put a reg letter sticker on there. And the number of the registered letter will go onto a receipt that looks a little something like that. 2 receipts, one for the postage and one for the registration. It will have a registration number and it will have a QR code.
Malaysian
now, if the
Airlines
QR
flight.
code doesn't come on the receipt, the QR code is actually...
Logard says, Freedomville is the new Facebook Chinese... What? New Facebook Chinese browser game where you run a conspiracy theory farm? What the hell is that?
on that sticker as well. You also want to make a note of the date that you send it and the date that you receive it. Once you receive that...
Tea with Goblin says, for the record, she just mentioned Harold Holt. He was our PM in the 60s. He went missing without a trace while swimming on the beach, so we named a swimming pool after him. A swimming pool!
staple the receipt to the back of the envelope.
Okay, so presumably, I think this is what she's doing. For some reason, I think she believes that writing her name in this specific way, which she calls quantum grammar, I think she means by wording your name in this specific format, that means that it's referring to the actual person and not the corporate fiction, which isn't a real thing, but a lot of sovereign citizens believe it is a real thing. So she wants to send a letter to herself through the Australian Postal Service. So I believe her intent here is that she believes if she ever has to prove to the government that she is not a corporate fiction but a real person, then she can pull this letter and say, see, I wrote my name in quantum grammar, which doesn't mean anything, and you sent it to me via the Postal Service, meaning the government has recognized me as a flesh and blood person, even though none of that means anything in the real world. If that makes sense. It's like a Miracle on 34th Street defense. That's what I'm gonna call this. The Postal Service delivered them to Santa, and they think he's Santa, so legally the government has said he's Santa. Andrew Batella with 20-bit says that's quantum punctuation, if anything.
A lot of people ask me about Claim of the Life, then what, you know? And a lot of the information has been quite difficult to get hold of, to be...
What does happen if you actually address a letter to Santa and put it in a mailbox? The Postal Service collects them and trashes them, I think. Let me see. What happens when you send a letter to Santa Claus? It's probably going to depend on the state and the local post office as well. Some might just dump them, some might send them somewhere. Every year, millions of kids around the globe communicate with jolly old Saint Nick the old-fashioned way, pen or crayon and paper. The top 3 countries that generate snail mail to Santa send more than 4 million letters annually. CNN estimates that 1.7 million come from France, 1.35 million are from Canada, and more than 1 million letters are written in the US. The United States Postal Service doesn't have an exact number, but says the number of letters to Santa from kids is easily in the millions. There's a lot of correspondence, so what happens to all of it? Well, as with any other piece of mail, it depends on how the letter was addressed. In 1912, the U.S. Postmaster General gave local postmasters the authority to allow employees and citizens to answer letters addressed to Santa. It eventually became known as Operation Santa, and today multiple locations across the U.S. participate in the program to help deliver gifts to needy children. Those who want to play elf for the season can drop by any one of them and select a letter or letters to Santa to fulfill. If you don't have a participating post office in your area, you can volunteer to start an Operation Santa in your city or donate to an existing location. The United States Postal Service has another program called Letters to Santa, which guarantees children a response from the North Pole, but no presents. Parents mail their children's letters to North Pole Postmark Postmaster, along with Santa's response and a self-addressed stamped envelope. The North Pole Postmark Postmaster will return the letter to the child with a special postmark from Santa. That's cute. Logarth says there isn't a quantum reality to any of her statements. A Pyromancer with the 13th Obama 17 video.
Yep, are studying under a different system.
Thank you. Andrew Batella with 20-bit says, if you just write Santa North Pole, the letter, of course, won't go anywhere. You have to write Saint Nicholas, of course. The U.S. isn't alone in its Yuletide philanthropy. There are similar Santa programs around the globe. The Royal Mail makes sure your kids who send letters to Mr. Claus receive a response, as does the Canada Post, which even gives the big guy the custom postal code of HOHOHO. That's cute. Ho ho ho, if you don't get it. Brazil has Papi Noel dos Correos, a program similar to Operation Santa, and in France, any child who writes a letter to La Pierre Noël will receive a response from a post office dedicated specifically to the cause. In fact, since 1962, receiving a letter from Le Père Noël is actually guaranteed by law, bringing new meaning to the whole naughty or nice thing. That's interesting.
Really clear. There's just been a lot of fraud. That's all. So, but once you get a claim of life with Chief,
Good morning, everybody.
That eradicates the
At midnight last night,
and it
for the
lifts
first
you
time in
up
17 years,
out of the jurisdiction that we currently reside in. So you don't have to have a dejection. So the first thing you do when you get your claim of the life, I encourage people to.
Well, this lady's out there, huh? We'll deal with her another time. I gotta find some good videos about her. If Santa was a boomer, he'd answer the children's letter by saying, "Get a job." I'm so tired of the quartering, it hurts. What's Brie Larson's channel up to? 538,000? Cool. She's gotta beat Jeremy. She's gotta beat Jeremy.
If you've ever had this feeling, there is an awakening happening.
Welcome to today's show. And for anyone wondering why people such as myself...
Says the 17 thing reminds me of Stephen King's 19 thing, and Jim Carrey's the number 23. Yeah. Did he start a new channel? I swear he posted something earlier that was a different video. Hold on, I think I actually still have it open on my phone. Did he start a new Call for an Uprising channel, or did he start posting on one of his old ones? Weird. Maybe he deleted the video.
We are back.
Rod of Iron Clips. Subscribe. Channels. I know their other channel got banned, I think.
If you understand the right skill set.
This is Peter's pastor. Bardlock Moses says, I subscribe to Brie Larson for you, Hannah. Thanks. Logarth the 20-bit says, more like a call for an uploading, hey. MH Dark Beast says, clearly Obama's use of 17 means he's actually Q. He's been screwing with the Trumpers from the start for giggles, but now that Biden is in, that's why Q stopped posting. That's my headcanon.
You will have that too. You will have that kind of powerful, uplifting, inspiring relationship, which in the end, that's the reason why people are going bonkers and doing all this stuff to try to get that kind of relationship that God has blessed us with. It's just that so many times we've been so pathetic at having fun in our blessing, at understanding God enjoys seeing us have fun with each other. And it's become just this religious exercise of, yes, I'm blessed, and yes, I'm doing my job, and yes, I'm doing my fun. That's fine, good, all right. But are you having fun at doing your relationship, at your job? Think about your daddy or your tell you to do something, and one child is bitching and moaning and complaining about every little thing every single second.
MH Dark Beast, congrats on the 1K bits badge, says, God loves watching us having fun. Giggity.
Doing it, but they're crying and moaning every second and cussing at their dad or them, whatever, their parents. And there's another child that does it happily, singing along, singing a tune while he's doing it. And I'm not saying, you got to be careful that parents don't exploit that kind of goodness if you have a child that does that. You don't want to exhaust that and just continue. You want to be thankful and recognize that, obviously. But if you're a mature parent, you could see the difference, and you would be so grateful for the child that is able to gratefully help you when you need help. You would be grateful. Right? I mean, just common sense.
Wow, this guy's not even like a good orator. I'm surprised he's successfully kind of held these people together.
The blessing is such an incredible blessing. But again, it becomes some kind of work, and it becomes some kind of religious duty, marriage that is. And then it loses its energy, it loses its humanity, it loses its fun, it loses its enjoyment. And so thus we're seeking other types of pleasure, which give us these dopamine highs and these adrenaline highs, when really our spouse should be our drug. We're addicted to them.
Fontuck says, if Moonies still exist in 200 years, will they replace AR-15s with laser rifles? Gotta wonder. This is Peter's pastor, yes.
And draw it out.
This account has been terminated due to multiple severe violations of YouTube's policy prohibiting content designed to harass, bully, or threaten. At least Peter's apparently following his church correctly. That's probably why his channel got deleted too. The evils of pornography and how Satan uses immoral sex to corrupt men.
A very good
Sounds like, sounds kind of John Doyle there with the dopamine. Yeah.
discussion we had during Korean service yesterday. In warning the kids of pornographer men.
Pornographer men? It's like the milkman. He comes to your house and he's like, you want some pornography, kids? Watch out for the pornography man. Pornography man is my favorite Marvel character.
Which gives men a dopamine high because you're looking at new, beautiful, naked women, which, of course, in the past you would never have access to unless you actually were having sex with them.
Another one. Gosh dang. Peter's gonna lose his mind at all these.
But now every boy on this planet is dealing with pornography. You know what I'm saying? And the Queen gave a beautiful lecture to the young people. But
the Queen, his wife, he's a king and she's queen.
All
very normal.
Young boys are dealing with pornography because it's so accessible. It's so.
As we all know, women never look at porn, ever.
Private now.
You know, that was the hardest part of my transition is never looking at porn again because no woman ever looks at porn. Definitely true.
Of course, she gave a wonderful lecture showing how pornography is a sin. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
Was called when he was really
young boys should be very wary of it, and you should definitely repent if you're watching it, because you are committing sin. But what's happening is that because you're having all these...
Is this Peter's weird church? It is.
New women that you can see, the dopamine is being released. It's just like the mouse in experimentations, where if you change the sexual partner of the mouse will continue to have sex till it dies. It will not stop.
What?
not stop having sex. Right after.
Like, I'm sure he's referencing some real experiment, but the way he described that just makes it sound funny.
It has sex with one mouse, a female mouse. If you take it out again and put in a new one, you'll see a new female and be sexually active again.
Oh, I do think I know about this. If you keep introducing new partners for the mouse to have sex with, the male mouse will do so until it dies or something.
So literally it will kill the mouse.
Are you a mouse?
Because of that dopamine high. That dopamine high which then gets connected with adrenaline.
Death by snoo.
And you need to see something more deviant to get excited. And you need to see something more deviant to get that dopamine high that you first had when you're watching, just naked ladies in the beginning. And now you're watching lesbians, and now you're watching orgies and group sex, and now you're watching bestiality, and now you're watching child.
Wait, you just jumped from orgies to bestiality. That's quite a jump, and you're about to say some disgusting shit, which is not something that normal people look at. Jesus Christ. You didn't even mention monster boys and girls in there. There was no mention of femboys. There was no mention of yaoi. This is incredibly inaccurate.
But you see what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Because of that deviancy factor as being an adrenaline booster, mixing with dopamine that you can only get with new things. And that's why it's a slippery slope into Satanism.
Wait till this guy hears about clopping.
And the exploitation of children. I mean, this is an actual satanic technique, right? When we talked to Zachary King, who was an actual Satanist for 20 plus years.
Anytime there's like a born-again Christian who's like, I used to be a Satanist for 20 years. I used to snort coke off dudes' erect, throbbing members. I'm always like, okay. And they always describe it really inaccurately and say just the most ridiculous shit. And it's always so funny how obviously fake their stories are. MMO Addicted says, okay, I just got here and I hear lesbian bestiality. I find myself very tolerant usually, but nope, I'm out. Have fun, y'all, but keep it consensual and non-bestial. Thanks, MMO Addicted. Daddy Sume says, Hannah, you're skipping so many levels and going all out of order. There's an established pipeline to degeneracy that you must respect. I guess so.
And an actual Satanist priest. He said he was lured into Satanism at 14 years old because they had some hot chick, buck wild naked, spread eagling to how many boys? 9, 10 boys, all banging her.
Why did you join Satanism? Well, funny story.
And just ejaculating in her, and she doesn't even know what who's the father of the baby is.
Oh, if this video wasn't getting demonetized before. 74 Quid 74 says, I wish that was my introduction story.
She gets pregnant, and 9 months later, they have a ceremony where they come in and kill the baby.
What? He's describing an imaginary snuff film that he thinks is real? Oh no. Be trippin'.
You understand, this is how Satanism recruits young boys. By naked women. Right? By sex. And this is why at the highest level of all these secret societies, it's always these sex parties. It's always these sex cults. It's always you having sex with some kind of, it starts with, just a younger girl. So you're in your 50s and the younger girl's in her 30s. And then it goes on to, basically doing adultery first.
Andrew Patella says, why wait so long? Just get an abortion the normal way. And then Querulous Artisan says, I couldn't come up with a more elaborate story than this one time, that one time I was on shrooms. And then Magic number 17. 17's probably enough. There's no way Peter is going to watch all of these anyway, and I think that's an appropriate number. I really appreciate all those links.
Breaking that commitment. And then it goes to a 30-year-old girl. Then it goes to a 20-year-old girl. Then it goes to a 16-year-old girl.
No!
Right? Then it goes to a 13-year-old girl on an island with Mark Epstein and Bill Clinton. And other, Hollywood celebrities.
And Donald Trump?
So you feel like you're in this in club and you've joined the top echelon. And they're all doing it. And then it's, 8-year-old boy. And then it's some kind of animal, and then they're filming this secretly.
Gimpig says he does make Satanism sound poggers. Ugh.
And then by the time you get to see yourself in the mirror, you're raping and killing and murdering little children.
Gee, why is Peter into QAnon? What a mystery. Slowdog52 says, this is the worst Penthouse Forum letter ever. MH Darkbeast says, multiple partners so you don't know who the daddy is and then you kill the baby. Do we call that Russian Kumlet?
And all this is on film. Now you think about that, how compromised your situation is now, where you cannot do anything that is outside of the line of these devils. They can tell you to do whatever. They can tell you to kill people, and you have to do it. Because if you don't, they'll release these videos.
What does this have to do with porn? What are you doing?
You see that? This is how secret societies work. In the end, secret societies, they're not interested in the sex, really. They're interested in the control and the power, the leveraging. The alavanca. That's Portuguese for leveraging. That's what they're interested in. And that's why all these secret societies, from Skull and Bones and all these black, shadows, secret societies, they're all based on these sex cults, sex parties, sexcapades. The federal government is the largest peddler of child porn. And you have deputies.
The source?
And people in these departments that actually have to watch it and monitor these websites. And they're
how else do you expect them to catch people? I've actually read threads from people who had to work in those departments in like the FBI, and apparently it's one of the highest turnover rates in the FBI is the department that deals with that material, because they do have apparently they have a program. It's very interesting. It's disgusting, but it's interesting how they actually go about dealing with these crimes. They have a program that will automatically detect nudity and blur it in the program. So the investigator at the FBI or whatever can go through the photos and look for identifying markers for the location, for the victims, for the perpetrator, and they have to do that with tons and tons of images and videos a day, and I guess it just burns people out. Like alcoholism is huge in the FBI, especially in that department. It's really fucked up, but unfortunately it's something some investigators have to do to try and catch the people who perpetrate these terrible fucking crimes on children. It's disgusting. But to call the people who are actively delving into this stuff, this disgusting material, in order to try and help victims and stop this from happening to other people, and calling those people who are like legitimately traumatizing themselves by having to look at this material, these people are like taking one for the team here. Calling them like distributors of child pornography for actively trying to catch those who make this material is so fucked up.
But then they're watching child porn. I mean, how ridiculously creepy is that? That we have federal employees that are paid to watch child porn.
How do you want to catch the people who create this? Genuinely, you dumb asshole. How do you expect to catch the people who do this if you don't ever, even in the way that they do, again, they blur stuff with a computer program. Like, how do you expect them to catch the people and find out where these kids are if they don't look at the evidence?
I mean, it's just freaking crazy.
Like, imagine if there was a murder scene and the cops need to investigate this murder, but they're like, murder's a terrible, disgusting crime with victims, so we can't go look at the crime scene. Like, yeah, it is. It's awful. It's awful. It's an awful job, I would imagine. But you gotta do it so you can catch the criminal. Idiot. This guy probably just goes under chuds.
Any thought of free-minded, free-thinking, powerful people that are sovereign and have the right of kings must be quelled, must be silenced, must be destroyed.
Oh God, are these people sovereign citizens too?
Because that means gene death for them. The only way their genetics, and Stephen Stephenmiller talks about gene death a lot. When these liberal lunatics are drunk on power, their genes are screaming, yes, yes, yes. Because for them, as beta males and beta females, the only way for them to have access to higher quality sexual partners, which will then help create higher quality genes and keep that gene set alive, is for them to consolidate centralized power. Because
what
if
kind
they have to
of weird eugenicist talk is this?
Compete with other men and women who are alpha females and alpha men, and most women are attracted to alpha males, and most women are attracted. Men.
What is this weird MGTOW red pill talk too?
And are attracted to alpha females. That is strong, beautiful, bold women, right? Or strong, handsome.
Nothing says alpha male like sitting in front of a gun, podcasting in my camo suit jacket I bought at Party City while wearing my bullet crown.
Successful.
Real alpha move.
Men. Most women are attracted to those kind of men. Most men are attracted to those kind of women. So if they're to compete against the actual alpha and alpha female, it doesn't mean that you have a certain look or anything. It's a confidence. You've unlocked your epigenetics. You are able to.
You've unlocked your epigenetics? That doesn't mean anything.
Take risks and succeed in those risks. You went through the rites of passage, which made you stronger and make you more beautiful and make you more confident but humble at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So that you can work and cooperate with other warriors and other alpha males and females who will then increase and multiply your effect in the marketplace and even make you more successful. See? That's what they don't want. They don't want people to become alpha males and females because when alpha...
Why do they take this idiot seriously? Bardock Moses says, if he's a flat earther, that would be a hat trick. True.
Alpha males and females work together collectively, they become an unstoppable force for freedom, liberty, success, prosperity, and victory.
Kirthan with 100 bits says snipe, and
And in a culture where they're guarding against hedonism and have Christian values, they're always warned of their sinfulness. They're always warned of their humanness. And they're always warned that there is a God above who they're morally accountable to.
Pretty lady flexes his muscles. Good for him. Let's do like one more and then I'm probably gonna call it a night. National debt in Germany went down during Hitler's dictatorship. Oh God.
Did you know, Cook Joe was talking about it. Did you know that during World War II, the government of Germany, under Hitler, did you know this? National debt went down.
Is this guy about whataboutism, or like is he gonna devil's advocate for Adolf Hitler and the Nazis?
Did you know that? The national debt of Germany went down during Hitler's wars. Do you know why? Do you know why the Catholic Church supported the killing and massacre of 12 million people, including the Jews?
Bardock Moses says YouTube is trash.
Did you know that the German debt was going down? Do you know why they were killing the Jews who were very wealthy?
Because they were fascists who needed a scapegoat, as all fascists do. Slow Dog says because they looted Europe. Yeah, wartime usually does stuff like that as well. It also probably helps your debt when you just decide you don't have to pay it. Like, oh, we're at war. We don't owe money to the Allies anymore because we're not going to pay you. We're at war.
Isn't it
Also, yes, confiscating the property of Jewish business owners and property owners, their citizens, probably had something to do with it too.
interesting that as Hitler started massacring the Jews, he started confiscating their property and then paying the bankers? Isn't that interesting? Pushing down the national debt. Did you know that? And as Kook Jung my brother Justin, so brilliantly exposed, he's the first one I think who exposed that. Hitler's genocide in 21st century.
That have caused tension for many years. And these are issues that I addressed in Cairo.
Banks collecting on national debt. And they will support regimes and leaders that are violent and that will centralize power to themselves like Hitler because they want that collection of money. That country owes them money. Hurry up and pay it up. We'll support Hitler to go in, kill off some of the rich Jews, take their assets, take their money, and pay us back.
Yikes, that is certainly an accusation. Most national debt is owned domestically in the form of government bonds, which not only banks hold, but individuals hold, and various financial institutions own those, but also international places also own a good portion of U.S. debt.
It's a mob cartel, folks.
Logarth says, so when do we start taxing churches that start espousing hate speech again? Technically, it's already illegal. If you're talking about politics, you're not supposed to get tax exemption. The IRS doesn't really enforce it, though.
It's a freaking mob. And whose best friend was Hillary Clinton's? Who was the best friend of Hillary Clinton? The number one campaign contributor to Hillary Clinton?
Is this going to be a George Soros thing? And he's going to call George Soros a Nazi, even though George Soros' family were victims of the Holocaust and he's Jewish?
Who was that again, folks? Oh, George Soros?
Called it.
Oh, an international banker? Oh, wanted to support Hillary Clinton to go in and kill off 35 million gun owners?
No.
Steal and confiscate their assets to pay the banks back?
No one has that plan, you idiot.
Setting up FEMA camps. They never said it, but they were setting up all the systems to do
No, they weren't.
it. Releasing from the FBI declassified documents saying Christians are domestic terrorists. This is what
they're probably talking about, the fact that right-wing terrorism is considered the most dangerous domestic terrorist threat in the United States, which it is, as we saw on January 6th. According to someone, apparently some of the people from this church went to the Capitol on January 6th. Surprise!
where the government was going, folks. They were going to kill Christians who had guns. Do you understand? They were going to purge this nation, saying that they were terrorist organizations. This is exactly where, if the left gets power again, we're going to be in the same boat again, folks. This is not a joke.
Jesus Christ. No wonder Peter is so desperate to believe that Trump is still president. He's been told for years, maybe his whole life, that if Democrats have power, they're going to come and murder him and everyone he loves. Mike Max 321 says, doesn't his family gain money by selling guns and saying that guns are the answer? Who's the actual mob here? Yeah, it's a grift. His brother owns the local gun shop.
Doesn't matter if we have 4 years of Trump, 8 years of Trump. It does not matter. Because when the left gets in there again, it's going to be time to kill y'all.
Vessels are responding in the Gulf.
Didn't happen under Obama or Clinton, the first Clinton bill. Didn't happen, isn't happening under Biden. Sounds like you're just scaremongering your followers so they'll buy more guns from your brother.
You and me, that is. That's why more than ever, it is essential that the body of Christ understands the rod of iron.
What a psycho. Doon, doon, doo 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 doon, doon, doo doo doo. What if the returning Messiah was not white? Would you follow him? Oh boy. Yeah, we'll definitely have to cover this guy again in the future.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Andrew Mook, pastor here at Sanctuary Church. Great to have you here.
Sorry, that's a different Sanctuary Church. This is the Sanctuary Church.
Protect your church.
Look at those crowns. Very strange. This is just an actual one of his church services.
Hunters. And from grace, for we through the Spirit, right, that I will return, is for the kingdom to be established. What does that mean? That means there's going to be a difference. When the kingdom of God comes to the earth, there's going to be a difference.
Our response team is
people are no longer going to be slaves of bondage. Okay, you went through.
Okay, let's find someone to raid. Doon doon doo 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 doon doon doo 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 doon doon doo 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 doo. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I will be back tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday for all your conspiracy debunking needs. It'll be a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys there. That'll be at the typical time, I think. Actually, it might be a little bit later. Jake and I are going to be doing our Hannah and Jake live stream tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that on the Hannah and Jake YouTube channel. Chat's valid. Have a wonderful evening. I declare this stream has come to an end. Have a good night, everyone.